Join us for a transformative journey of learning, growth, and innovation. Explore cutting-edge business trends, gain insights from industry leaders, and network with global professionals. Get ready to transform with iCentra. Stay tuned for updates, exciting topics, and renowned guest speakers. Keep an eye on all our social media pages for more details. Your transformation journey continues here. Transform by iCentra. Join us for a transformative journey of learning, growth, and innovation. Explore cutting-edge business trends, gain insights from industry leaders, and network with global professionals. Get ready to transform with iCentra. Stay tuned for updates, exciting topics, and renowned guest speakers. Keep an eye on all our social media pages for more details. Your transformation journey continues here. Transform by iCentra. Join us for a transformative journey of learning, growth, and innovation. Explore cutting-edge business trends, gain insights from industry leaders, and network with global professionals.
Hello, everyone. I want to specially welcome us to another edition of the Transform by iCentra webinar series. My name is Esther Shelley Lulu. I lead the solutions unit at iCentra Consulting, and I'm going to be your host today. I'm currently joining from the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, Nigeria. So I just want to welcome everyone. Please let us know where you're joining from. You can drop a comment in the chat box saying hello. Let us know where you're joining from. We are glad to have you join us today. Okay, welcome. I have someone joining from Los Angeles. Someone joining from Taiwan, you're welcome. Okay, from Abuja, Nigeria, from the Netherlands, you're welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, we have someone joining us from Atlanta, you're welcome. Okay, from Abuja, from Dallas, Texas, you're welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. So again, my name is Esther. I lead the solutions unit at iCentra, and I'm going to be your host today. So today we will be conversing on the topic Agile Mindset, breaking silos, and for better collaboration. Okay, I can still see people dropping their comments. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. Okay, so today we will be conversing on the topic Agile Mindset, breaking down silos for collaboration. I'm really hoping that at the end of the webinar, we are able to gain insight on what is Agile Mindset, what are some of the causes of silos in teams and also in organizations, and what strategies and steps can we take to be able to break down these silos for success in our projects and also in organizations. We will also look at how adopting the agile mindset can lead to better collaboration and success in our project as well. So at the end of the webinar, we would also
Hello, Esther. We can't hear you anymore. Esther Lolo is muted.
Yes, apologies about that. I'm back. So at the end of the webinar, you will receive a link to take a quiz, and then you can download your certificate of attendance. And then we'll also share a feedback form just so that we can get to hear from you. How can we make this webinar better? And also which topics would you like us to discuss on the webinar? And also for those who are PMI members, you also share your ID so that we can process your PDUs. So I'm going to be introducing our esteemed speakers for today. The first one is Mr. Essowe Abalo. Mr. Essowe is an agile enthusiast and a servant leader with over 18 years of experience in business transformation, strategy, innovation, tech consulting, project and program management, change management, business development, and sales. And he has worked in IT, telecom, sports, government, and manufacturing as well, and have served organizations like IBM, Foxconn, FMZ. Mr. Essowe has the PJMP certification, PMP Prince 2, Certified Agile Leadership, CSM, ITIL. So Mr. Essowe, you're welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Okay.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Mr. Essowe. Welcome, and thank you so much for taking our time to join us today. So our second speaker, and Mr. Essowe is joining us from Prague, in the Czech Republic, so you're welcome. We have Mr. Tao Chun, who is joining us from Taiwan. He is a highly accomplished and experienced professional in the field of project management and boasts of an impressive list of credentials like PMP, PMP, AHPP, and DASSM. He has completed several multi-dollar projects in various industries. Mr. Tao has established himself as a sought-after speaker and authority in the project management field. His deep understanding of AI technologies and their application in the project management space sets him apart from his peers. Moreover, Mr. Tao's extensive involvement in digital transformation projects has honed his abilities to navigate complex organizational landscapes and drive successful outcomes. He was also one of the speakers in the just concluded PMI Global Conference in Los Angeles. So you're welcome, Mr. Tao Chun. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. So our third speaker for today is Mr. Taopheek Babayeju. He has over 2 decades of rich and diverse experience leading high-impact transformation projects and managing multi-million-dollar portfolio. His experience cuts across sectors such as IT, telecoms, finance, agriculture, health, construction, education, government, corporate, SMEs, and much more. His expertise encompasses transformation, organizational, digital, and agile transformation, strategy, technology consulting, PMO, projects, program, and portfolio management, information security, change management, risk management, and many more. He also is certified with PFMP, DASM, and DASSM. He has a PMI award in 2010, sorry, as the most outstanding contribution to project management in Nigeria. And just a few weeks ago, he also received the PMI Eric Janet Person of the Year Global Award and was also a speaker at the just concluded PMI Global Conference in Los Angeles. Mr. Taopheek, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Esther, for having me. And thank you very much, everybody, for
Okay,
joining me.
you're welcome, sir. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's just dive into our topic. And I would like to just to take some opening remarks, starting with Mr. Essowe. So we're discussing agile mindset and how we can use that to break silos for collaboration. So I believe that we have a lot of professionals in the room that already understand what the agile mindset and are familiar with it. We might also have those who are not very familiar with the concept. So, Mr. Essowe, I would like you to tell us more about the Agile mindset. How is it different from the Agile frameworks? And what is the significance of adopting this Agile mindset amongst teams and organizations?
Yes, thank you, Esther. Can you hear me properly?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. So, as I'm saying, it's always good practice to explain project management to even newbies. I'm saying to my grandmother, things you have to keep in mind, a project is a vehicle for change. The project allows you to move from point A to the final destination. Now, depending on your project, or projects do not have the same characteristics. There are projects where everything is known in advance. It means your requirement, what are required for you to accomplish this project is quite clear. You have done it several times, you know what to do to get to the point B. So in that case, there's no need to make your life harder. You can plan things from end to end in details. For example, building a bridge, it's with the help of architects and engineers, they are capable of planning things even till the last nail, right? You can use what is called traditional mindset or traditional approach to execute such initiative. That's quite easy. Now there are other kind of projects which are a bit, I would not say strange, but which are completely different in nature, simply because you do not have all the requirement in advance, or even sometime you do not have the know-how completely. However, you need to start. For example, we've seen with the COVID pandemic, if you are a researcher or a scientist working in finding the vaccine for such uh, virus, actually the guys, even though they possess all the technology to do something about it, they could not plan it end to end. They can't even predict when would they find the vaccine, how will they even manufacture or invent such a vaccine. In that case, you need to embrace what is called agile mindset. And what is agile mindset? Agile mindset is simply saying, I do not have all the cards in my mind or in my hands. However, I need to move forward. That allows you to move into smaller iterations, see what happened, test the ideas, get feedbacks either from the product itself or different people working so that you move forward. Now, what is the importance of having the mindset? Because if you do not have this flexible mindset, it means you will fail a lot. It means you try something and it won't work, right? And when it doesn't work, and if your mindset is fixed, you will go mad. Like you, it can create a lot of friction between the team. But having agile mindset allow you to understand, like, this failure is just another step forward to get it right, to get to the point, to get it to learn from experience and then move forward without being too long and let others speak. So one thing you need to keep in mind, having agile mindset means you are this kind of person or organization that is accepting that things are not clear. We live in a complex world. We live in uncertainties. What is right today might be different tomorrow. What will be good today might not be good tomorrow, and be able to change and accept that a change is required. So that's how I see the agile mindset, and this can be applicable in even your own life, in the organization you are managing, on your project, or whatever. Just name it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Essowe, for your contribution. One key thing there is the agile mindset is about adaptability. It's about flexibility. Failing is okay, but we need to fail fast and pick up and move on. And also the agile mindset can be applied to our personal lives, to organizations, and also to teams. So thank you so much for providing context to that question. Okay, so I looked at the statistics by Harvard Business Review, and it showed that 75% of cross-functional team experience communication breakdown due to silos. So now I'll direct this question to Mr. Taopheek. Please, if you can share with us, what are some primary sources and causes of silos amongst team members, and what are also the detrimental effects of silos on collaboration, productivity, and organizational success?
Thank you very much, Esther. Can you hear me very well?
Yes, we can.
Amazing. Before I respond to your question, let me quickly welcome my friend, Tao Chun from Taiwan. It was great meeting you at the conference. Also, Essowe. Essowe and I have been friends for 15 years or thereabout. So we've not seen in person, but it feels like we've known each other for the rest of our lives. So it was great catching up with you in LA. Thank you very much for all you do for the practice. Also, let me recognize some people joining us from LA. Nasib Bena was my partner. We spoke together at the conference, and also Albert Alberto. Thank you very much, the Agilist. Okay. One of the biggest challenge for for agility in organizations, especially that culminates into silos, is first of all cultural, disalignment. We have different cultures within organization, and there is mostly a disconnect from leadership. Everything, like they say, rises and falls with leadership. So it is always very important that leadership drives agility within the organization, because the leadership always hold the key to the culture within the organization. So once leadership is, when you're introducing agility to an organization, it's more like you're changing the culture of the people. And when you're doing organizational transformation at that level, once there is a seemingly disconnect with leadership, alignment with leadership, and even the strategy of the organization, agility must be in the strategy of the organization. So once that is missing at leadership level, it kind of like trickle down to the organization. That is number one. Number two also is the organizational structure. Is the way, most times, is the way our organizations are structured. Most organizations are, departmental, hierarchical. You can't talk to this person unless you talk to that person. These are hindrances to um, agility within the organization are the core silos, because finance can talk to HR, HR person needs to go to the director, and the director needs to talk to the director, and the director needs to talk to the subordinates, and the subordinate needs to now, raise a memo. So once you have this kind of hierarchical structure that does not um, encourage cross functional collaboration within the organization. It starts ensuring that you have silos within the organization. So, you know, just to wrap it all up, culture, like they say, has, strategy for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So first thing that needs to be done is to introduce and now I'm talking about the solution right now, is to introduce the culture. um, if the culture of agility is being introduced by PMO or somebody within the organization, we also need to align, get the buy-in of the management, the senior management, to understand what is agility all about. Because agile is not what we do; it is who we are, and that is why we call it the agile mindset. People need to have that mindset of agility. We struggled within our organization when we're trying to do this agile thing. It was like, breaking, the culture of the organization totally. So, but you need the doggedness of leadership to drive this cultural change within the organization. You need somebody very high up in the organization, even not the CEO, who is interested and showing leadership in the way things needs to be done, breaking down these silos, ensuring that memos do not have to fly. You have platforms where people can pick up instruction and get things done. And also, you need to introduce projects within the organization that ensure that you have cross-functional collaboration within the organization. This also helps to foster the culture of agility, and also break down silos within the organization, so that people in finance know what you know uh, the business is doing. Even within the business, I mean, your business operations, there are also silos. So how do you bring people in? Now you need to change the DNA of your organization and your people, because first is all about the people. Because no matter the tools you introduce, no matter the innovation you introduce, if the people aren't buying into the culture, and that is why we call it the mindset first before every other thing. Let people know that it is okay to fail and try again. It's okay to do things in little bits and get result. It is okay to do small documentation to prove the ideas. It is okay to do to achieve small wins, and let us celebrate it. It's okay for us to talk more, than write letters to each other. It is okay for us to jump on a call, to start, to get approvals, verbally, to get things done. So this way, you are able to break down the cultural, um, you know, silos within your organization. I hope this answers your question, Esther Lolo.
Yes, it does. Thank you very much. So key things to note is one of the key reasons why we have silos is because of cultural misalignment. You also mentioned a disconnect from leadership with their team, how organizational structure, especially the ones that are functional and has lots of hierarchy, could also lead to silos. And lastly, you also mentioned the organizational culture. So thank you so much for addressing that. I've seen a comment about processing PDUs. At the end of the webinar, we will send a form and you can fill it with your PMI ID and we will process your PDU for this webinar. Thank you. And if you have any question for the speakers, please feel free to drop them and I will get into that shortly. So thank you so much. Now, the next question is for Mr. Tao Chong. What does collaboration really mean amongst team members? And what is the role of AI and technology in enabling collaboration, especially agile collaboration across team members and organization.
Okay, so can you hear me well?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so let me start. So right now is really the best time of the agile. I mean, we in the past when we talk about waterfall, we have spent used a lot of the quantitative analysis back then, and so we use the old AI, which use you if you are guys familiar with IBM Watson, and everything is based on that. So if you have number, because we in the waterfall in the traditional project management, we have all the numbers ready for us, and that's really good for us to do the predictive analysis. And so, but in the past decades before 2022, and we are already perfect on that. And because we have already trained the models, we have built a model at multi-color, everything. We have everything to be set in. So that was very hard. The right now that was back then, but we didn't have any solution for the agile. The agile we need the qualitative analysis and with the collaborations and everything. It's not quantified. We cannot use number to quantify, and we don't want to use number to quantify. Each team have different way of working. Each team have different way with couple collaborations and communications. So that will be the key for the team. So Gen AI is actually the best and is the coming the right timing. And because in the past we all have already been criticized. Agile is not fast enough. The reason why Agile is not fast enough because in the pre-project stage, which means the idea generation stage, we have spent so much time to get from idea to the concept. This time we usually at least we have spent at least 4 to 6 weeks or even more time. So that's why we had some tools named the Google Sprints. I hope some of you have familiar with that Google Sprint, which means it's a Google way to get from the idea to the concept. The concept proof to already proof concept in 5 days. And that means we have to spend all like the entire company's resources and put into one room and put them to stay there to 5 days to come up with some ideas, to come up with some concept. And the way we could do this. But with the Gen AI, then with the everything, so we get it faster right now. Like the King Tao say, we can fail fast, but in the past we don't know how to fail. And we don't have the SME to help us to understand how to fail this. So we have to think very hard. We have to understand. We sometimes we don't even answer the question is. So with the accommodation of the Gen AI, like for example the ChatGPT, the Gemini, or the Copilot. No, we can have the idea generation every single day in like 10,000 or million of ideas if you want to generate it. And if that got turned down by the stakeholders, by the shareholders, by our committee member, or by our boss, or by our clients, so we can just get back there and do it right again and again. So that's why we don't have to think about it, and we don't have to stuck here forever. So this time it's really fast. So it solved the problem before. When we talk about Agile, it's not fast enough, and Agile is now. We can actually be getting the best out of the Agile and getting more collaborations within the Agile and breaking all the silos, because we are able to have an SME here. That's the virtual SME, and that can assist us and give us ideas, recommendation, and everything. So we have the ideas how to proceed in the future. So this is actually the good way. And for my example, we have generated get idea down from 0 to 100. Like we can generate like 10 times faster than before. And our team is much happier because they understand what is going on, and they don't have to guess from stakeholders, shareholders, because they can fail fast. They can just propose every ideas to the stakeholder. And if they turn down, and then we can have another ideas to generate it in just 1 day or 1 day or two. So that's the power of Gen AI and the thing. So old AI, we can solve all the waterfall and traditional projects. And for the Gen AI, it's very good for quantitative analysis. It's very good for the Agile. So that's why I think it's the best time for us to use the Gen AI to break out silo and to understand what our climate really wants.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Chao Chung. So much to take note of. So one of the key things you said is with AI tools such as Gen AI and Copilot, it helps us go to the market quickly. It also helps to tell us that failing is actually okay, but we need to fail fast. Helps in idea generation and just general and better understanding of the work that we do. Making analysis quicker and faster for us to be able to go to market. So thank you so much for answering that question well. So thank you. So now let's go just to discuss further. And this question would be for Essowe. So what strategies, because now we have had a good understanding of what the Agile mindset is, we also have a good understanding of silos and where they come from in the organization, and also how AI can help to aid collaboration. So this is for Mr. Essowe. What are some strategies and steps that team and organizations can take to effectively adopt the Agile mindset as a way of working in the organization?
Okay, Esther, thank you for the question, and thank you also for Tao. Nice meeting you. Unfortunately, I did not have time to meet you in LA, but I think it's just next one, right? So, what are the strategies to let's say, to start adopting Agile mindset? First thing is, I would say, the awareness. Any given organization should put in place system that allow continuous learning for the teams, because you do not know what you don't know, right? So you can say whatever you want. If you do not expose yourself to new information, new knowledge, whatever new is coming, then you are locked. You are not into growth mindset. So I think any organization leader should put in place a system to allow people to be constantly learning. That's, I would say, step one. Then once this is in place, step two is to create, I would say, a psychological safety for the team. Because why people are even confined into silos, often it's because feedbacks are not well received or even considered. When someone gives feedback one time, twice, thrice, and then nothing happens, then they just say, okay, probably no one is interested in what I have to say. Then they don't speak anymore, right? So any given leader should make sure the environment is psychologically safe for anyone to be able to provide feedback, to express their feeling, and challenge the status quo and whatever is happening. I think this is the second step. Once these steps are done, first, be aware that we do not know everything, but we have to expose ourselves to the new information via many various channels. For example, attending to conferences, attending to webinars like this, going for formal training or informal trainings. Then the second step is putting in place leadership style that cultivates psychological mindset, meaning not punishing people for having different ideas, not punishing people for expressing the opinion. And I think once this is in place, everything is just steps. Then I think there are methodologies to help teams how to really operate, right? There are, I would say, the agile methodologies are many of them. But the bottom line is really about the environment, the culture. The culture is simply what you call the way of working, how these teams are operating. Are they sharing information? Are they covering each other? Are they thinking strategically for in achieving their goals? And once this is in place, I think I do not see any reason for any given team to be working in silo, because then they have a common goal. Of course, methodologies are saying as a leader, you need to help the team to build, or even as a team, build the common vision. I think usually this is even the key, right? You have to bring the team together, so all of them will agree on where are they heading to, where are we going, what is our vision, or why our team exists. Once this is defined, then agree on what we should do to reach our vision. And if you share common goal, common vision, then there's no reason to start hiding information or being confined in your own silo, saying like, okay, I can do whatever I have to do, or my voice is not heard here, and so on. So to conclude, my recommendation to anyone interested in adopting the mindset, either for his organization or the team, or even on the project level, is recognize that we need to learn. Secondly, build a psychological safety or psychological safe environment for people to raise their voice, and then follow any kind of agile framework to execute your initiatives. I hope I
Okay.
replied to the question.
Yes, yes, you
Yep.
did. Thank you so much, Mr. Essowe. And just to summarize, as you shared the strategies and steps that organizations can take to adopt Agile, what is very key is awareness and recognizing that there is the need to learn, and then ensuring that we create a psychologically safe environment where people can be able to freely work. They feel that it's okay to be able to share their own initiatives, and also creating a system in place that makes continuous learning effective. And then lastly, you also say then it makes it easy for us to be able to, adopt any agile frameworks. And we're going to speak about the frameworks soon. Thank you so much, Essowe. Please feel free to drop questions. If you have questions, please drop them in the comment section, and then we'll attend to them shortly. So now to go forward, and this question will be for Mr. Taopheek. What are some of the challenges that organizations are facing adopting Agile mindset, and how can we overcome them to ensure that there is better collaboration?
Thank you so very much, Esther. And so yeah, I like to pick it up from where you stopped, which is psychological safety for teams within organizations. I think it's a major challenge, and I've also spoken to a few of those challenges earlier on in my opening remarks. Um, the culture of the organization, we one way or the other um, determine how organizations will become more agile. And I need to say this: agility is a journey. It's not something that you start and say, "Oh, we're agile now." And you need to have a roadmap to your agility. It grows over time, and that is why the agile maturity of organizations can be, measured by how much the team perform. Because at the end of the day, it's about performance. Okay, how well are you able to, get products out to the market? Not only product value out to the stakeholders. And when we're talking about value, we're not talking about just value in terms of product value alone. We're also talking about portfolio value and customer value. So these stakeholders require value to be given to them and as quickly as possible. Okay. So what are the challenges? We've spoken about most of them, but I think culture is the number one in organizations. And when we take care of culture, we take care of every other thing. And the mindset is very, very important. So that we're not doing stand-ups for stand-up's sake. We're not doing retrospect for retrospect's sake. It becomes a way of life, and it is also results driven rather than being just a culture. So what do we hope to achieve as an organization and as a team? So collaboration is it's a bit of problem for most organizations. Some leadership don't even know how to delegate. So when we talk about leadership, it goes a long way to set the tone for agility within the organization. It is how we uh, how we drive the culture of agility within the organization using the tool of leadership. Of course, especially in Africa, we are a very we practice very monarchical system, and for the leadership for organizations or for either businesses or you know government organizations actually come from our environment as well, which has been led with this patriarchal, monarchical, system that has dovetailed into our system one way or the other. So people see leaders as somebody holding the position that can that is not vulnerable, that is not that can't make mistakes, whose words are laws, and is too big to accept failure and does not also tolerate failure within the organization. So when you fail, you are dead. Okay. And once this culture is within your organization that do not allow people to to express themselves, to be who they want to be, to fail, and their little effort is not recognized. From time to time, some leaders find it difficult to even say thank you. Because they feel I'm paying you to do the job. Okay, so the way leadership is conducted within the organization. And I say conducted because it is leadership is a service. So you need to really conduct that service. And anybody can be a leader. So it is how much you are able to also share within your organization to ensure that there are co-leaders within the organization. Everybody is not just deferring, to uh, the CEO or to the general manager or to the CEO. And that is what I love about the whole concept of, Scrum Mastership, okay, which is servant leadership. Almost 20 years ago when we started uh, this whole thing about project manager, you're seen as the police of the organization. Nobody wants to do anything with you. It is trying to get things done. You are focused. You are not focused on the people. You are focused on the constraints, ensuring the timeline, ensuring the what else cost scope is not overrun. Nothing fails. You're yelling at people, calling them at 2 a.m. and all of that. But now, to ensure that there is what's it called, accountability and autonomy of leadership, we defer now to people. We're now serving the people instead of trying to coerce them or giving them sanctions and all of that. That doesn't mean that people should be complacent anyway, but they take responsibility, and on their own they can decide to work on the weekend. On their own they can decide to to talk to you at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. and 5 a.m. and say, hey, are you available? Can you talk to me right now? Because you are giving them not only the responsibility, you're also giving them the authority and you've given them the autonomy, to be core value creators. So for me, I'm I'm very big on, what kind of leadership structure do you have within the organization and what culture are you driving? Because, you know, um, everything rises and falls on leadership. And somehow the leadership has the DNA of the organization. And people are not going to do what you say, they're going to watch what you do. So it is, lifestyle, living the lifestyle. Like some of my friends, we jumped on the call yesterday, and what we talked about is about, this PM thing. It's not a job, it's not a profession for us. It's a lifestyle. You can see it applied to everything that you do. Some people even forget that, in my organization, some other people forget that uh, we're we're technology people, we're consulting. They just see that PM is so big because it is what we live. Okay, it is our lifestyle. Okay, so and everything should be about leadership and the culture. And once you can take care of this, you have agility, on a lockdown within the organization. Thank you very much, Esther.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for your feedback in discussing the challenges that organizations are facing. And one of the key areas you emphasized on is culture, the importance of having the right culture that allows for collaboration, that allows for people to be able to have some level of autonomy and responsibility in the work that they do. Another thing, key thing that you mentioned is when adopting the agile frameworks, carrying out Scrum meetings and using the Kanban, ensuring that we are doing them such that they are result oriented and not just for the sake of carrying out the ceremony. So thank you so much for that contribution. So now to Mr. Tao Chung. Now, how do we know, or what are those metrics that we can use to measure the effectiveness of agile adoption and collaboration amongst team? How do we know that we are doing well? What are those metrics that we can use to measure the effectiveness of agile adoption? And I also like Mr. Essowe to chip in on this after Mr. Tao Chung has addressed this.
Okay, so this is very good, very tough questions and very good questions. Each team will, as we have mentioned, each team have their way of working. So we in the agile mindset, in the agile scenario, so a ceremony, we don't use the same way to like the to set the KPI or the OKR to set them to make sure they are have the same thing. But we do use the common things, which is the net performance NPS score. And so that's how you will recommend your team or to the others. So that's the very key important things we have to learn to know. These are the important things for them to know, understand. Because if they really recommend our way of working, if they are really into it, understand what is going on within the team, then they are going to share their experience to others and they understand what we are doing right now. And also, the important thing we have to mention is we have to understand. So I always ask them, all the consultants. I'm not sure in Africa or not, but in Asia, we some of the consultants like to put like we have like 8 level of agiles, and consultants always say if you don't reach at the highest level of agile, you are not agile. So people are trying to make sure they are going. Oh, and that's the way they keep the consultant. They keep themselves in the team, so they will pay people will pay them to do the work. And but for me, it's like we will show you all the level of agiles. For example, is whether it's the waterfall in the agile or the waterfall in the sprint, or they have already understand how the kind of things. So when we always ask them each sprint planning, what do you think we are which level are we in right now? So we define those things in the sprint zero, and then we'll ask them each in the every single sprint, ask them do you think which level we are in, and why we cannot break through to next level? So we understand each time we ask them, so they have ideas, so if they can answer it and they can share that to the other people, so they can bring their own culture. So that's the important thing. They have realized what is going on in their team and understand how to break through. And also we find that recently what we have done is we use the ChatGPT or the Gen AI to help us to bring one big the ruling system. So understand what we are thinking really are. So sometimes we just give them the entire scenario and then ask them what do you recommend for our team. So that's we always play in the previous question I didn't mention that we always think the ChatGPT or GenAI is not a tool. It's really kind of a stakeholder or the SME, because when we define the tool, we define when we have the input, tools, and output as we mentioned in the PM block, right? So each time if we have identical inputs, identical tools, we should have identical outputs. So that's how we define tools. But with the GPT, with the Gen AI, we don't see those coming. We ask the same question, identical inputs, we have the same GPT, we have the different outputs every single time. So that's why we don't consider them as tools, we consider them as a stakeholder. So why we put them that way, so we usually ask them to give us some advice and how should we proceed. Sometimes it gives us like textbook ideas from the PM block. Sometimes they give you some out of blue ideas. How can we get those rules done? How can we get those those things out? So, how can we measure the things? So that's the thing we are trying to adopt, and some of them really work. For example, they probably talk us how like we for the team, if we can able to share our ideas within the team, how much level we can share our communication within the team. So that's the really something is helpful. We are still trying. We are still trying for those things they recommended for us. But some of them is really working very well for us. But it's not mature yet, and we will share more once we have achieved those maturity level of new kind of the set of the team measurements. So that's my take. Answer your questions.
Yes, thank you so much. I'll also like Mr. Essowe to chip in on that as well. How do we measure the effectiveness of agile adoption and collaboration amongst teams and organizations? You can just add on to that as well. Hello, Mr. Essowe, are you there? Can you hear me?
Think he freeze.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. For some reason, internet looks a bit unstable here. I'm not at my usual place. So maybe I will ask this question. I would like the audience also to participate. How would you define KPI? If you can type in quickly, how do you define KPI? Who knows what is the KPI? Because the question, can you hear me? The question is, what are the metrics to see if your team is succeeding, right? I think everyone knows that KPI is defined as a key performance indicator. Thank you, Ayumini. However, my own definition, not my own, I think this is very well known, yes, is to keep people interested, right? So there is no other metrics to know whether your agile transformation is working or not. As long as people are not interested in what you are doing, it means it's not good. And for people to relate to what I'm going to say, I'll give you an example, real world example. I was responsible for agile transformation for a very large company, which has like 5,000 employees. I think the company is from Tao's country, right? It's a massive manufacturing company. And in the manufacturing industry, people are, because I've seen one question saying, how can you implement collaboration in Nigerian public sector? So you can imagine manufacturing companies quite similar. People are in a silo, they know what to do.
Okay, I think he's having some network issues. Mr. Essowe? Okay, so I'm sure we'll hear back from him shortly. Feedback, or of course, one key thing he has said is keeping people
Can you hear
interested.
me?
Okay, Mr. Essowe, you're back? Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, sorry. I switch now to data. Hopefully it will be okay. So I was giving an example of real transformation, how we shift agile mindset in an organization which was really, really resistant into anything agile, because for them, anything agile was like no go. They did not even see the reason that it's just waste of time and so on and so on. So I was leading the software development department. And for us to develop software that are useful for them who are in the manufacturing area, we have to come up with strategies how to get them interested in what we do. Because when we check our KPI, key performance index indicators, they were all red. They were, delay in testing. They were not interested. Time to fix the bugs was very bad. The developers were not really much, they did not really not much know what was happening. Even the piece of code they were developing, what was the real usage of such software at the client side, they did not know. They were just, they know how to code. They have some specification on paperwork, and that's it. So we came up with one concept which we call funovation. So this was a mixture of fun and innovation. And how does it work? We went to them, we said, look, we would like us to work together. It means you have been requesting many things to the IT to resolve them, and they have never been resolved simply because you've been sending each other ping pong messages. You should do this, they do it, it's not how it works, and then back and forth, right? No one was really enjoying this. So we said, why can't we dedicate one day? I think this kind of work, working exists. Some people call it hackathon or something like that. But we said, okay, not just like work, work, work. In the morning, we had some fun. We play some drums. We invite, everyone should cook something, bring it, and and as the team is working, it means developers and business people, they have to come up with an idea. The goal was, at the end of the day, they should come up with a working piece of software to fix a problem. Then we find out after the first edition that one day was not enough. So finally, even the top management accepted that this was so much success that we started to dedicate one whole week every quarter in the organization to allow this to be happening, because so much got done within that week than anything you can imagine. So coming back to your question, I think everything is about what are you trying to achieve, right? If you are working in gold mining and everyone has to dig a certain amount of gold and fill a pocket, question is, do you need to work in collaboration? I don't know, maybe not. Right? You have your part of the mining, and you get your gold, and that's it. Probably collaboration is not much needed. But if the end product must be co-created, for example, creating software. If you are creating software for a doctor, you need to have his perspective, that how he's going to use it. So if you are in such situation, I think as a leader, the first thing you need to find ways to get people together. And once you get them together and they work together, it is easy to measure what makes or what creates value. Then you can define whatever metrics you want, right? So there is no standard, as Tao said, there is no standard metrics. You can name them whatever you want. That's why personally I love the idea of keep people interested in whatever you do. Because if people are interested and you make your work as a fun and innovation, I think you are able to achieve so much thing. Now there are a lot of metrics like time to market, cycle time, uh, whatever you call them. They will not make sense if the value at the end is not. It's not using the end product does not create value. So for me, the main metrics is the value that is being created at the end of the process. So if everyone agrees that the value created is good and accepted and adopted by all, then your transformation is good, or your agile mindset adaptation, it's working. I hope uh, it's clear for everyone, and yeah.
Yes, thank you so much, Essowe, for sharing. And I think the example you share really just, provided more clarity on this. Key things I've noted, which I can see also in the comment section, it's about keeping people interested, making work fun. We can the day value delivery, it's still customer satisfaction, it's still how we know that we are successful in our agile journey. Thank you so much for sharing that. Please feel free to drop your questions in the comment section, and we're soon going to take questions from the audience. Okay, so to move further, I think I'd like this question to go to Mr. Taopheek. What are some of the cultural shifts, especially in Africa, that is needed and is necessary for successful agile adoption? Because the disparity is there in terms of them as well. So what are some of the cultural shifts, especially in Africa, that is necessary for agile adoption? Yes, so that's for Mr. Taopheek.
Okay, thank you very much, Esther. Can you hear me very clearly?
Yes.
Okay, so because I got a feedback that earlier on when I was talking, my voice or maybe my audio was drifting. So I wanted to be sure that I'm communicating effectively. I was having my earbuds. Maybe that was due to the earbuds. So please let me know if for any reason I'm not very audible. So thank you very much for that beautiful question. When we talk in the context of Africa, it's always very interesting. But again, I like to start from where Essowe stopped and Tao Chun. So maybe we need to keep people more interested, and also, keep passing the ice cream. Uh, the ice cream also, it's what keeps people interested, right? So they said if you want everybody to love you, go and sell ice cream, because every kid loves the ice cream man. So, and that's very interesting for me because you need to keep people interested. You need to give everybody listens to one radio station only. When we wake up, when we're going to sleep, when we're in the office, even when we are in the bathroom, we're tuned into one station, and that station is what is in it for me, WIFM. Okay, with him. Okay, everybody wants to know what is in need for them, whether on the project or as a people. Then, so how do we, ensure cultural shifts needed for agile mindsets in Africa? And I'll tell you something very important. Africans have been practicing Agile for a very long time, right? Remember, put your mind back to, I'm not talking about cities like Abuja, where each one of us grew up. There's always one woman there who is mama something that whenever your mom is not around, they can drop you there. She's looking over every other kid. So for us in Africa, we say it takes one person to birth a child, but it takes a community, to bring the child up. So we have always collaborated. Then you go to our farming system. Instead of each person clearing their farms, we collaborate, all right? Because we didn't have tractor. So if 10 of us have farms, we'll come together on a particular day, maybe a week, and we clear Tao Chun's farm together. We go to Essowe's farm, we clear it together. That way, we're being agile, we're collaborating, we're ensuring that we get the job done faster instead of doing them at silos, because it may take me maybe 1 month to clear my farm so that I can start, planting for the season. But by the time we come together, it has taken us, 2 days to clear each person's farm. And once your farm is, cleared, somebody else is already helping you to plant. So that way, we practice collaboration, which is part of what agility preaches. So how can we, you know, um, transpose this into other areas of our lives? Now, in Nigeria, where I come from, people buy land and they start building BQ. Once they are finished with their boys' quarter, they move in there. They're not waiting for the main building to be completed. They are already staying in their boys' quarter, ensuring, while they are building the main building. That is agility. So I can go on and explain to you how much agility we have. And it's a cultural, shift for me, doing business in US where I'm living in US where I spend, equal time in Nigeria and US, share time in US, share time in Africa as well. And I each time 3 months in, 3 months out, I'm trying to adjust to the culture of people just doing things by themselves. And I don't have Esther to say, you know what, I'm going out. Can you help me look at I'm dropping my child with you. Okay, can we do these things together? You're just on your own, which is okay. Okay, it is the way the environment is. So what I'm saying is Africans we're communal in nature, and we have the ability to be agile if we want to, if we're able to, look at some of our lifestyles, that things that work that we're already used to transpose them into product development, into our work environment. Then we need to also, we have this hierarchical system, like I said. We need to move to when it comes to official stuff, we need to start breaking down, the hierarchies. For me, I don't think being a CEO makes you, all knowing. You need to start deferring to people. You need to be vulnerable as the leader as well, so that people can also see that, oh, he makes mistakes too, or he says thank you too. He admits his failure too. Okay, so this helps people to be better, not trying to be perfect. Um, then we need to foster the culture of continuous learning, and to be sure that we all learn as we go on. And we need to recognize that failure is good, okay, for as long as we take the lesson from it. Just like Essowe said earlier on, what is the value that we're trying to create? We should be more value oriented, and that is one thing you see play out in the developed world, because they are really time conscious. The concept of African time is one of the worst things that happened to us. You know, people know that time is money. But in Africa, we feel that, time is a concept. So it's an idea. I don't have to really, go with time. 1 minute in for your appointment, late 5 minutes for your appointment. Once it's 15 minutes, the appointment is cancelled. You're here, you're somewhere waiting for somebody for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and 1 hour, and it feels it's okay to keep you in the waiting room for an hour before he sees you, when you could have earned some income from that time. So we need to be more conscious about time, because when we talk about agility, we're talking about time box. We're talking about time box. There are things that needs to happen within that time boxing. So thinking that we can do everything at our own time is wrong. So we need to, lastly, in conclusion, we need to encourage failure. We need to value people more. Okay, we need to build trust. Trust is a very big issue. People have trust issue. All right, even when you're trying to help them, because they have grown up, or their experiences. I usually say to people, there are 4 E's that shape our mindsets. The big one is your experience, your journey through life, your exposure, your education, and your environment. They go a long way to shape the way you're thinking. And for you to build trust is a function of how your experiences, because you feel that people are not trustworthy. People don't like you. People are going to, hate you for no reason and all of that. We don't see the world for what it is. We see the world for who we are, the way we are. That is, it's our mindset, our experiences. That is what we carry, to our workplace also. So when you have trust issue within your organization, there is no psychological safety, whether it is public or private, sector, it keeps on affecting the quality of work. And we should also understand that you can achieve value in short term. Everything does not have to be the waterfall way of, oh, we have this project for 10 months. I've had the privilege of doing a review of capital projects for government, and it's amazing how much money that gets wasted after 3 years, 4 years, projects uncompleted. But we should have known that, what is the value do we want to achieve from this project in 6 months? What is the value that we want to achieve on this project for 12 months? We don't have to wait for 3 years to realize that this project is not delivering value. And the definition of project success needs to be looked at, because most of the times we're looking for the final, elephant projects that may not come to being. Okay, some projects are, you may be able to determine that, it's a prototype, can build on this, we can sell it, we can close it. Does not mean that it needs to be completed before the project is closed. So once we know that we cannot go further with this experiment is not helping anybody, can we pivot from here? Okay, so it's our definition of project success most times that really affects. So we need to redefine a lot of things, not only in Africa, but in our concepts of what is project success, what is agility, and what does value mean to us. For me, sometimes you go on an expedition not to win, but to learn. Okay, so when you fail, it's very important to get out, the lessons from it. Not necessarily that every endeavor must produce a unique product or service or whatever, which is our definition of, it used to be our definition of projects, but now it's about what value do we get within this sprint. Do we even have to go again? Why did we fail? What can we do better? And what can we improve upon? So with this, shift, we can be able to have, better agility and, close on silos. Thank you very much, Esther.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, for your comments and the insights. I wanted Essowe as well to just throw in some light there. What are those cultural shifts, especially in Africa, that needs to happen for successful agile adoption? So just in a minute or two, Essowe, can you just add on to that?
Yeah. Actually, I just wanted to add something to what Taopheek was saying. Once someone told me in Africa, because he was late 4 hours for our meeting, and then to apologize, he told me, I know you guys have watches, but here in Africa we have time, right? So
Oh my God.
right. So the time conception is it's quite different. But I think, again, this is a question of awareness, right? Until we realize that whoever we see is in front or is doing better than us, as long as we don't realize that it's about working hard, being disciplined, being serious with project and the value we create, you can implement whatever framework you want. People. I think in Africa, the good news, at least, I think, uh, being exposed to the world today, nowadays with technology. Now we are running this webinar, getting Tao from Taiwan, and Taopheek living the experience of US and Nigeria, learning and sharing these knowledges. I think all these will contribute for people to learn faster. I remember at
Yeah.
my age, when I was in high school, when my mom sent me a letter, or when I send a letter to my mom, it takes like 2 months before she get it, right? Nowadays, the information is quite fast. So those one interested, I think they can learn good things and know that uh, you can't achieve anything with complacency, right? I hope the word is correct. It means you have to be serious about your endeavors and think about result, think about the value, and then it doesn't matter whether you are in Africa or anywhere else. I live in the Czech Republic, right? I've lived in many European countries, UK, and so on. You see lazy people everywhere. Sometimes it's just few people working and others are just enjoying. But in Africa, I think as long as we start to recognize that we need to move forward together, we have already a lot of natural, I would say, abilities, like capabilities or an ability to work as a team. Whenever I teach project management course, I'm telling people the agile project management existed before, because I grew up with my uncle, and to build the house, he bought first the land, then he built a small house. Then later on, when he get more resources, he built the main house. Even we lived in the main house almost for 5 years without any fancy decoration. And he was claiming like, yeah, the way the house is not finished is good against the thieves, right? Like that's how he was joking. And actually, the thing was because there is no resources. And then he was completing the house as we progress, right? So that was really the agile way of building your house, and we have all these already. So I think if we start to be serious, things will be even faster than anyone could expect. Yeah, that's my comment.
Thank you so much, Essowe and Mr. Taufik, for your wonderful contribution. So, Mr. Tao Chun, I want to ask, how can agile frameworks like Scrum and Kanban, Lean, and a couple of them, how can we use those to be able to support collaboration and agile adoption? And I would, once you're done, I also want Mr. Essowe to chip in on that. How can agile frameworks like Scrum, Kanban, and Lean support collaboration and also agile adoption?
Well, the thing is, we talk about the Scrum Kanban, it's really like the way we get together, right? So, uh, it's like the entire Agile. Like we have to have a war room. Can get together, integrate with the like the steady stand up. Like for example, the Scrum and the retrospective. So ensure the team members have the clear understanding of priority and challenges. So we are going to the this kind of framework. Actually, any kind of framework will like the Agile. You will use a simple Kanban, or we just use the sticker notes or anything. Or just like the important thing is to get together and actually communicate to each other. And the most important thing for the Agile is when we use the Agile, and the some problem, some guys or some company probably become misunderstand why we use Agile, right? We don't use Agile for everything. So when we think about when we have the all good lesson learned, when we have a very good experience, we can actually predict, like we have all the numbers ready. I mean, from the past projects and for the past um, the leftovers, we are able to predict. We are able to do the WBS. We are able to do the Gantt chart with ease, and we can predict how much time we need, how much money we need, resources we need. If we have those information, we don't need those the Agile. And for the Agile is that we have lots of unknown, and that's why we have to able to ask the people to get together and to be able to talk about it, and to get to come up with some ideas as you probably ever know. So this is very important in this age, and when we talk about this, and we are able to like the Scrum, we have the two ceremonies very important for from Scrum perspective. The one thing will be for the daily stand up or for the daily Scrum, or the other thing will be the retrospective. So these two things actually we got the team like for daily stand up, we have the team to get together for 15 minutes and able to talk about what is going on, what the issue is going to face in the future. So that's a very powerful way to get the QA done, because there's for the if you are we are doing the Agile setting, we are really don't have the idea what the team is working on right now. So and also for the retro, right? So retro is the most fun time for me to do this. I mean, well, we can actually get the team together. Always talk to the team. I have 101 way to do the retrospective, and lots of games, lots of way to have fun, as long as we don't have the pressure to do this, and that's why I show the value to the team. So if we this is the time the team able to grow, to learn, and when we don't actually tell them what to learn, we want them to find that by themselves. And that's very important for them to realize what is the problem is, what is the kind of issue is, what they really want to learn. For example, if you really want to the team have some issue like for the front end, for example, the app development, if the front end has a problem, they need a 2 or 3 backup. And so that's why sometimes some backend programmer, backend coder probably really want to like learn the front end programming for them. So that's the time we need. So okay, so the backend guy or the UI UX guy, can you just support us, and can you just learn something about like for the JavaScript or .NET or some framework, so they can actually support us. So that's the really important thing we are talking about right now. So and also we can use for example the Gen AI, right, an AI guy, right? So it's hard for me to not talk about AI for like 10 minutes. And we are using, as I have an example back in the Global Summit 2024, I give this example, we use sentimental analysis for the team. And that's the way, because we have no numbers, we don't know what the team are doing. Sometimes we are facing each other and people are lying in front of me with just a plain poker face. So and actually the sentimental analysis help us to understand team more, and so we can give support more. And to be one big tip. So if you want the team to trust you, if you want the team to have faith in you, you have to solve their problem first. So each time we'll ask them to raise questions in the retrospective. And I will really like the Scrum plan, the sprint planning. We prioritize those questions, and at least we are going to at least 2 or 3 done in that sprint by myself, because as a Scrum Master, professional Scrum Master, we have to get things solved, and so that's why they can trust you, they can understand, they can count on you. If you are failing them, If you don't get those done, or you don't give it a try, then they will give it. It's like commonwealth. So it will break. And once that break, once that have broken, then nobody will trust you. The team will abandon you in forever. So that's for the records. It's very important when you do at the spring 0, spring 1. It's very important to build those trust among the team, and also the quite important things we have to be doing this way. So no matter what way, for the conclusion, so no matter what way you are doing right, no matter what kind of the situation you are doing right now, so or you're practicing your Scrum, Kanban, or your last anything, you just have to do this. You just have to get together. Sometimes somebody say I doing Scrum, but we don't do war room. We don't get together. We don't talk, and that's very hard for people to talk about. So, well, just one word. Just please keep people talking, and please keep our promise. And that's the very important for Scrum Master or for the team lead to able to control or to able to manage the team, and for the in the Scrum or in the Agile settings. That's my answer. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Essowe. Just before you come in, key things I noted is it's about coming together, it's about communication, it's about alignment, and then the ceremonies helps us to talk as a team, helps us to align, helps us to be able to build trust as well. So, Mr. Essowe, just before you also chip into that, there are two questions that I think aligns with this particular question. One of it says, which agile practices, Scrum, Kanban, are most effective in fostering collaboration? And then somebody else wants to know, which of the agile framework is best suited for medical information system development. So you could just address those questions. And then I see Mr. Tao's hand is up, then I'll come back to him as well.
Yeah. Well, I would say in anything, context always matter, right? Imagine if you have a Ferrari and then you have to drive it in a village. I don't know if it's worth it to, or if you have a very old car which you want to ride on a, let's say, fast highway, right? So context matters. Before implementing any framework, my recommendation is always to draw down what works, what doesn't work, right? And once you do this mapping to find out what actually work in our system and what doesn't work, then it is easy. Of course, it is always good to learn some framework. And again, even the frameworks, they have been invented or created by some people who probably are not even in your context, right? It is so learning at least the best practices, it always gives you this edge to adapt, right? To adapt any kind of framework to your situation. And this is even the reason why there are so many frameworks. There are Agile, Scrum, Kanban. If we look at it intellectually, I think Scrum was the first one to be formalized, right? My uncle own methodology was there before even this one, right? But he didn't write it down on the paper. So no one learned how to build the house without finishing and stuff like that. But so once you learn these formal ways of working or formal framework, you can always adjust and simplify. Simplicity is very sophisticated. Even sometimes people are struggling to do things very simple, right? Uh, I don't know if you are in medical, what is the most important for you? Is it making sure any patient that step into your hospital get treated nicely or get welcome fast, treated well, and happy customer. So if you think about your, let's say, your customer journey, about him coming to your medical practice, and if you think like, what would make my customer or my patient satisfied? Okay, he comes in, no need to wait in the queue too long. He's been taken care quickly, and then he's been provided by any kind of treatment. If he needs to see special treatment, he get it and then get out from there. I think it will be easy for you to think on where to do things faster, because the agile mindset and agile methodology, it's about adaptation, thinking about the situation and adapting to your own ways of working. So if you're in a hospital environment and your customer is what is important, I'll give you an example. In my case, we provide a lot of trainings for people to prepare for some certification. So our goal is to make sure students really understand the topic and then they pass the exam as quick as possible. Then you will find ways of achieving that. You don't need to follow someone else's path, right? If your goal is to make sure people understand the topic, then you cannot say, I will help you pass the exam within 3 weeks, because someone needs longer, someone needs earlier, right? So you adjust this methodology, and I think this can be applicable in your medical practice or any kind of practice. That's really my answer. Learning formal framework help you to understand how people frame them, and then based on that, you can always adapt them to your own situation.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Essowe. Mr. Tao Chun, you want to add on to that?
Yeah,
I see
so
that your hand is
just
up.
yeah, so totally agree with SOE. So this is very important because we have each team is unique. Each team has their own way of working. So we cannot say just one big framework can apply to every single teams. So that will be not possible. So depends on your teams, the size, your locations, your premises, and everything. So this is actually is very important for the people like understand what is going on and understand what you're going to deal with. So and each team solving different problem, right? So we are going to set for that team what they really need for that able to achieve. And but if you really for the old audience, if you really want to know, if you have, because things like you sometimes you have no idea what you're going to do. And so just back to if you really, this is kind of the thing just like PMI ACP, right? So you have all the tools in your pockets. You have to really understand it. You have to be able to read through every single tools, every single mindset. So you are able to pick it up when you face each situation. So you have to read through it. This is not a tool, actually basic tool. It's kind of the mindset. So mindset is like kung fu, right? So you look at the kung fu pictures, but you read through every kung fu pictures. But don't you if you don't practice them with your heart, with your mind, you have no idea what they're doing, right? They just probably just one line and they'll give you the entire kung fu. So that's the way we are looking at this. And we don't trust like if you understand each thing well, then you will be able to use it wisely. And so back to my the thing I just mentioned. If you really want to know which tools you want to pick up, there is one the very good guide for you to look at. It's just PMI, the Discipline Agile, the Choose Your One book. This is 300-page book, and it have if you they can depends on which team size, like location, the premise. You can choose everything as step by step. That will show you which way to use it, which tool you can use it the best. And then so because for example, you can if you want to Scrum, if you want to the startup problems, they have 7 big framework for you to use. And so this is kind of they took all those the pitfall and the fail some they failed before. They put everything in that book. And so if you really want, you have no idea and what to do, probably the best way is you can just look at the Choose Your One book, and it's free for the PMI members. And so you can download it and have fun. It's kind of really the way to the start, and you have the what way to deal with rookies. You have no idea what agile you're looking at. But to be honest, just like the SO say, so you really have to understand everything truly before you become some Scrum Master or product owner. So you can understand which way to pick for the team or get a suggestion for the team. And so that's the will be key for your team. So there's no standard answer which way is best for your team. You can use Scrum, you can use that, you can use everything. You can use just Kanban, you use the sticker notes, whatever. But as long as you are practicing Agile and you are always doing Agile, and so you have to slowly think which is best for your team. And it's sometimes the company culture is very hard to change, right? So you cannot just say, okay, I want to change everything in 7 days, and that's not possible. And your company getting kicked out if you are just outside consultants or outside, you're just getting you hired from the company. So that's very important for you to know. I run this through the older 50 years old company before. I have never run the agile before, and that's actually work. So probably just two things. If you have no idea, just read the probably just suggest you go to read that book, choose a wall book. And another thing is you if you have anything, just please read through every single tool. For example, the how to use LAS, how to use Scrum, how to use everything. So and then you have the idea how to deal with it in the future. So that's the two thing, and but that's my 2 cents for you guys
Thank,
to take over. Yeah.
thank you so much, Mr. Chow. Mr. Tao, I think from the summary from your comment and Essowe is really, there is no one size fits all. It depends on the situation, it depends on the context. So understand the different agile frameworks that are available. And then once you do, depending on your situation, depending on the problem, you are then able to adopt the one that is going to give customer value and help us solve the problem at the end of the day. So thank you so much for your contribution. I can see Mr. Yaz. Hello, Mr. Yaz. Maybe after this question, you can unmute your mic and then you can ask the question. I can see that your hands are up. Anybody else that wants to actually ask a question and doesn't want to type, please feel free to use the raise hand button, and I will give you the opportunity soon to be able to ask your question. So this will be our final question before we take up more from the audience. Okay, Mr. Yaz, are you there? If you are, you can actually unmute your mic and you can ask your question.
Hello,
Thank you
Esther.
so much for joining. Yes. Hello,
Right.
Mr. Yaz.
Thank you very much, Esther, for giving me this great opportunity to join you. Yeah, I have seen this session coming up. I was like, this is a great opportunity for me to have a kind of different perception from highly intellect or individual like you. Coming to see Tao, from Taiwan with a different experience, and Taopheek, which I've been seeing his comment and sometimes I've been following his activity, yeah. So I really, really appreciate, this great opportunity given. And so thank you very much for your for responding to my question, actually. Right. Esther, you know that you are one of my mentor, I can say, in Agile. You convinced me to come and write PMP, and finally I got it. I'm
Yes.
happy for that. Right. So, and, I'm a PhD student, right, in the Department of Software Engineering here in the United Kingdom. Really find it very difficult, you understand, um, to make people understand, how Agile really work, or to break the issue of silos. I think if you can remember, there are some of the my respondents from Nigeria, which we even talk about the research. How did they really, conduct the research, or how do they really use Agile, more especially when it comes to software development? Unfortunately, one of the biggest challenge I observe is issue of silo. working. Collaboration is not there, despite the fact that a lot of people will tell you, yeah, we are using Agile. But when you come to the real context, you find out that they are doing something else. The principle that apply to Agile, it's no longer there. So I think this is one of the major contribution I made from one of the paper, I've developed based on my interaction with the Nigerian practitioner. And the same issue, Esther, I discovered with one of the biggest organization, in fact, the most historic organization that are into medical software, in fact, large scale critical medical software like MRI machine, CT scan machine. I was opportunity to be with them in India for about 1 month. Unfortunately, issue of using Agile as defined is no longer there. They are finding it very, very difficult to adopt Agile, into their organization. And you can see because of that lack of collaboration and silos working, it's really, really affecting the whole process. Despite the fact that, yeah, they are delivering values, but the Agile practice is no longer there. So I really appreciate Taopheek because you emphasize about this how to break the silos. You even bring us some certain scenarios. I think I make it as part of my jotting, and maybe you can see it in the next paper because you really, really educated me on that. I'm really, I know I could have, I don't know why I could have missed today if I didn't join this session, to be honest. Yeah, you have said a lot, something that I didn't even realize about it, about silos working, the kind of negative impacts, organization experience, or a kind of a challenge that come as a result of silos working. Yeah, I really enjoying it. And to be honest, I will
Thank
put that
you.
into practice. Yeah. So my biggest question, or I can say is, or my plea at the moment is, Esther, if I could have um, Taufik as well as his friend because of my context. I really have to have a session with you if you can give me the opportunity. To be honest, yeah, this is my plea.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you very much,
Okay. I
and I
think
really get a
the
lot from
network.
this webinar. Yeah, thank you.
Esther, are you still there? So can we take another question? Okay, so I see, please, a mobile, yeah, asks, can you apply Agile mindset in construction projects? Yes, so this is a question I get from time to time. We, um, people in the construction environment have asked this question: can construction ever be agile? And I say to you that we can have in construction hybrid approach for the known dependencies and all of that. The ones that have strong dependencies. Yes, we know that it needs to be a waterfall, um, kind of approach. Of course, you need to do the foundation before you raise the blocks. You need to plaster the wall before you can paint. Some things are sequential in construction. However, when you're trying to introduce, for example, a sustainable building that incorporates a little bit of IT, that incorporates some elements that are unknown. This is where you can play with agile. So you can have a lot of agility in construction, especially when the world is going sustainable and the world is going very digital. So it is very, very important um, that we consider moving with the world as it is right now. So your buildings are smart buildings right now. So there's a lot of iteration that goes into experimenting for such buildings. For example, the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. There are a lot of uncertainties. There are a lot of iteration. There are a lot of things that we did not see the end of it, from the beginning. So, in such instances, agility can be applied, but you cannot have a full agile system in a construction. You need to have something that is more of an hybrid system, which helps you to be able to test and do a little bit of experimentation along the line. So Esther is back. So you have the floor back, Esther. So thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for answering that question. Thank you once again, Mr. Yas. He was one of our PMP students. Thank you so much for joining. So we will just drop the LinkedIn profile for Mr. Tao, Mr. Taopheek, Mr. Essowe, so that we can feel free to connect to them as well on LinkedIn. Mr. Tao, you wanted to make some comments?
I just want to get back to the king, and hybrid is very important for the construction projects. I mean, somebody's criticized we cannot use the agile for the construction projects and everything, but actually when we have for example, you have the idea generation, you have no idea what they're going to do, what to build, or something that's new, very new concept or new kind of ideas to build, to like building block. You have no idea, you have never worked this with before. So you can have something like 1 period or 2 periods or 1 or 2 sprints just to get through everything, and so just put that as an experimental. So that's very important for us to understand, and we have to use those kind of experiential time. Sometimes take a break of time, 1 or 2 weeks. So we are not going to say this. We are not going to do the agile and expect everybody to do the agile. But what kind of level you are doing with agile right now? So even though somebody's completely use the waterfall, but sometimes they use a little bit of agile like cooperation with each other. You are doing agile already, but we have to understand this, as I mentioned before, what kind of what kind of level you want to achieve, why you cannot go to the next level. For example, if the company don't have the very time constraint, has a very money constraint, for example, I said everything down in the contract says you have done this in 12 months or 30 months, you cannot breach the contract by any chances. So then it's very hard for us to use the agile contract or agile mindset just to slowly or just to break things out. So that's why you have to use that hybrid setting, and sometimes you have to just some of them you can use the agile, but most of the time you have to get catch up and to finish the contract. So this is very important for everybody to think about. But you guys, I think most of us are doing agile already. Just think what is that prevent us to do this. And so that's why take the topic, the breakdown the silo is very important, because collaboration is the key, no matter which way you are doing for your you see while you're doing the agile. So that's a very important thing you think about the first time. So you have to talk, you have communication. That's a very important thing you have to do this. And we are as a Scrum Master or team leads or the product owner, we have to keep this ideas spread out. So that's my comments.
Okay, thank you so much for all your contributions and for the feedback. I'm just going to go around from Mr. Essowe to Mr. Taopheek, and then to finally Mr. Chao Chong. What would be your closing remark as it relates to using agile mindsets to break down silos and to be able to enable effective communication? So let's hear your final remarks as we bring the sessions to a close. Pelumi, kindly unmute your mic. Thank you. So let's hear from Mr. Essowe. Pelumi, kindly unmute your mic. Thank you. So let's hear from Mr. Essowe, and then Mr. Taopheek and Mr. Tao.
Esther, sorry, I've been disconnected for a while. So can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Let's just take your closing remarks as we bring the session to a close. Just in 1 minute, your closing
Okay.
remarks.
Yeah. So my remarks to whoever or is interested in adopting agile mindset is to have, people you are serving in mind. Once you keep people you are serving in mind, then you will work backward. I think the ultimate success or the ultimate metrics for success is the value you create at the end for whatever service you are offering. Then when you have that in mind, of course, learning formal frameworks, doing courses like PMP, DSM, Discipline Agile, Scrum Master, all these are just, input for you to create your own way of working so that you can always create value to whoever you are serving, whether you are in the military, in the public sector, telecom, whatever. And the next advice I would give is never stop learning. If I will give my own example, each time I'm reading a new book, I feel so embarrassed. Like, why am I discovering this just now? So open yourself for new knowledge, new information, and then everything should be all right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Essowe. Mr. Taopheek?
Oh, thank you. Esther, before I go forward, somebody just asked a question. Can agile mindset be utilized in agricultural sector? I just told you how we used to do agile in Africa in the agri space, and a lot of innovation is happening in the agri space that is transforming the agricultural sector, and you need to be agile. AI is working is your stakeholder, just like my friend Tao Chun said in the agricultural space. So you need to be agile to be able to catch up with AI in the agricultural space. So my parting word, I think where as we round up, is that agile is not what we do. It is who we are and what we are. And for you to be agile, you need to first of all have the mindset. But the beautiful thing is you don't have to go and import the mindsets. You don't need iCentra, you don't need Woloyem, you don't need Tao Chun to give you the agile mindset. You are already agile. A part of you is already agile. In your blood, in your DNA, there's agility. Okay. When you're chased by the dogs, you improvise, right? When we find ourselves in different life threatening situations, we become very agile. Agility is not a new word. It is how we quickly respond to change, threats, opportunities. So it is having that mindset constantly in everything that we do. What would I do if the situation is threatening? Or can I achieve a different result? So the interesting thing is all you need to do is just unlock that part of you and make it a daily, culture, and live agile, eat agile, practice agile, and before you know it, you'll be awesome. Like my friends Alberto Suju always say, be awesome. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Mr. Tao, can we take your final
Yeah. Sure.
summary? Thank you.
No problem. Yeah. So back to just as we wrap up, I just leave some one key thought. Just integrate with just like my friend King Dog says, this is the Gen AI is really our trust consultant that has transformed the way we approach Agile. So make it more just like a more, just more than just a methodology. So it is become a cultural trust, cooperation, and continuous learning. So having the Gen AI as a reliable guide, we have empowered our team to ask questions, more informed decisions, and truly connect across all levels. This partnership between technology and humanity is not just in enhancing our projects, but it's also reshaping how do we do the deliver values. So we have to do this and with the AI. So let's continue to embrace the journey and push the boundary what is possible together. So that's what I want you guys to take away. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much to everybody. I see that our audience have stayed with us. Thank you so much for your time and for joining us in this in this edition of the iCentra Webinar Transform series. Please feel free to follow iCentra and iCentra Learning on all our social media platforms. We will drop a link now. You can feel free to give us feedback on the webinar. Let us just know how you want us to be better, how you want us to improve. Feel free to drop your LinkedIn as well on the comment section. We also have some courses coming up. The learning arm of iCentra is called iCentra Academy, and we focus on capacity building, training, certifications for people in Nigeria and all across the world, in Africa, just globally. We have some upcoming class coming up soon. We will also share that with you. And for those who attend the webinar, you're going to get a 10% discount as well. So if you are interested, we'll also share that with you in the email that is coming after the webinar. So thank you so much for your time. Look forward to seeing you once again. I want to say a big thank you to Mr. Chow for taking out your time, Mr. Essowe, Mr. Taopheek for sharing so much wealth of knowledge that we would have to pay for to actually get. So thank you so much. We'll keep connecting with you. We'll tell you more about our upcoming webinars. So feel free to follow us, okay, at iCentra and at iCentra.com. So thank you so much and have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Yes, thank you so much. Goodbye. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chow. Thank you, Mr. Taopheek. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Essowe. Thank you, everybody,
Oh,
for joining us.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
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 Good night.
Adios.
Okay, bye-bye.
Don't turn off the class yet or the training or the session yet. People are still posting so that they can interact. We can continue to play the transform, whatever. Thank you, everybody. We'll send you for links for your PDU. Yeah.
Okay, please just fill in the feedback form. The link to the PDU is there. Just fill in the feedback form and we'll process your PDUs. We'll also send that in an email that will go out shortly.
guest speakers. Keep an eye on all our social media pages for more details. Your transformation journey continues here. Transformed by iCentra. Join us for a transformative journey of learning, growth, and innovation. Explore cutting-edge business trends, gain insights from industry leaders, and network with global professionals. Get ready to transform with iCentra. Stay tuned for updates, exciting topics, and renowned guest speakers. Keep an eye on all our social media pages for more details. Your transformation journey continues here. Transformed by iCentra. Join us for a transformative journey of learning, growth, and innovation. Explore cutting-edge business trends, gain insights from industry leaders, and network with global professionals. Get ready to transform with iCentra. Stay tuned for updates, exciting topics, and renowned guest speakers. Keep an eye on all our social media pages for more details. Your transformation journey continues here. Transformed by iCentra. Join us for a transformative journey of learning, growth, and innovation. Explore cutting-edge business trends, gain insights from industry leaders, and network with global professionals. Get ready to transform with iCentra. Stay tuned for updates, exciting topics, and renowned guest speakers. Keep an eye on all our social media pages for more details. Your transformation journey continues here. Transformed by iCentra. Join us for a transformative journey of learning, growth, and innovation. Explore cutting-edge business trends, gain insights from industry leaders, and network with global professionals. Get ready to transform with iCentra. Stay tuned for updates, exciting topics, and renowned guest speakers. Keep an eye on all our social media pages for more details. Your transformation journey continues here. Transformed by iCentra. Join us for a transformative journey of learning, growth, and innovation. Explore cutting-edge business trends, gain insights from industry leaders, and network with global professionals. Get ready to transform with iCentra. Stay tuned for updates, exciting topics, and renowned guest speakers. Keep an eye on all our social media pages for more details. Your transformation journey continues here. Transformed by iCentra. Join us for a transformative journey of learning, growth, and innovation. Explore cutting-edge business trends, gain insights from industry leaders, and network with global professionals. Get ready to transform with iCentra. Stay tuned for updates, exciting topics, and renowned guest speakers. Keep an eye on all our social media pages for more details. Your transformation journey continues here. Transformed by iCentra. Join us for a transformative journey of learning, growth, and innovation. Explore cutting-edge business trends, gain insights from industry leaders, and network with global professionals. Get ready to transform with iCentra. Stay tuned for updates, exciting topics, and renowned guest speakers. Keep an eye on all our social media pages for more details. Your transformation journey continues here. Transformed by iCentra. Join us for a transformative journey of learning, growth, and innovation. Explore cutting-edge business trends, gain insights from industry leaders, and network with global professionals. Get ready to transform with iCentra. Stay tuned for updates, exciting topics, and renowned guest speakers. Keep an eye on all our social media pages for more details. Your transformation journey continues here. Transform by iCentra. Join us for a transformative journey of learning, growth, and innovation. Explore cutting-edge business trends, gain insights from industry leaders, and network with global professionals. Get ready to transform with iCentra. Stay tuned for updates, exciting topics, and renowned guest speakers. Keep an eye on all our social media pages for more details. Your transformation journey continues here. Transform by iCentra. Join us for a transformative journey of learning, growth, and innovation. Explore cutting-edge business trends, gain insights from industry leaders, and network with global professionals. Get ready to transform with iCentra. Stay tuned for updates, exciting topics, and renowned guest speakers. Keep an eye on all our social media pages for more details. Your transformation journey continues here. Transform by iCentra. Join us for a transformative journey of learning, growth, and innovation. Explore cutting-edge business trends, gain insights from industry leaders, and network with global professionals. Get ready to transform with iCentra. Stay tuned for updates, exciting topics, and renowned guest speakers. Keep an eye on all our social media pages for more details. Your transformation journey continues here. Transform by iCentra. Join us for a transformative journey of learning, growth, and innovation. Explore cutting-edge business trends, gain insights from industry leaders, and network with global professionals. Get ready to transform with iCentra. Stay tuned for updates, exciting topics, and renowned guest speakers. Keep an eye on all our social media pages for more details. Your transformation journey continues here. Transform by iCentra. Join us for a transformative journey of learning, growth, and innovation. Explore cutting-edge business trends, gain insights from industry leaders, and network with global professionals. Get ready to transform with iCentra. Stay tuned for updates, exciting topics, and renowned guest speakers. Keep an eye on all our social media pages for more details. Your transformation journey continues here. Transform by iCentra. Join us for a transformative journey of learning, growth, and innovation. Explore